Would you ever imagine that there are places in this world where Canadians aren't exactly given a warm welcome? Imagine planning your next vacation, only to find out that certain countries might not be as thrilled to see that maple leaf on your passport. Today, we're diving into a shocking reality: 10 countries where Canadians might not be so welcome in 2024. But don't just take our word for it. The reasons might surprise you. From deep-seated political tensions to cultural clashes, these destinations hold a complex relationship with Canadians and their neighbors to the south. Stay tuned as we uncover the truth behind these strained relationships and reveal the countries where you might want to reconsider visiting this year. Trust me, the insights might just change your travel plans. Welcome to our channel, where we explore different places around the world. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay with us until the end to get all the details on these countries. Number 10. Yemen. Yemen, a nation with a rich history, vibrant culture, and warm-hearted people, is a country that boasts stunning landscapes and a deep sense of tradition. Known for its ancient cities like Sana'a and Shibam, Yemen has long been a land of mystery and allure. However, despite its cultural richness, Yemen is one of the least welcoming places for Canadians in 2024. So, why is that? Well, it's not as simple as just one reason. Yemen has been embroiled in a brutal civil war since 2015, leading to widespread destruction and a humanitarian crisis that has drawn international concern. The ongoing conflict has made the country extremely unstable, with various factions vying for control. This instability has led to a dangerous environment where foreign nationals, especially those from Western countries like Canada, are often viewed with suspicion and, in some cases, outright hostility. Political tensions between Yemen and Western countries have only exacerbated the situation. The involvement of Western powers in regional conflicts and their alliances with opposing factions in Yemen's civil war have contributed to anti-Western sentiment among certain groups. This means that Canadians traveling to Yemen could face significant risks, including the possibility of being targeted for their nationality. Cultural differences also play a role. Yemen is a deeply traditional society with conservative values, which can sometimes clash with the more liberal attitudes associated with Westerners. Canadians, often seen as representatives of Western culture, might find themselves at odds with local customs and norms, leading to discomfort or even hostility. Moreover, recent incidents involving foreigners in Yemen, including kidnappings and attacks, have highlighted the dangers of traveling to this war-torn country. The ongoing conflict, combined with the complexities of Yemen's political landscape and cultural differences, makes it clear why Canadians are not particularly welcome in this beautiful yet troubled nation. Traveling to Yemen is not just difficult, it's perilous. For those who value their safety, it's a destination best avoided for the foreseeable future. Number 9. Eritrea. Eritrea, located in the Horn of Africa, is a nation known for its dramatic landscapes. From the Red Sea coastline to the rugged mountains of the interior, its people are resilient, shaped by a long struggle for independence and a deep sense of national pride. However, for Canadians, Eritrea remains a difficult and unwelcoming destination in 2024. One of the main reasons is Eritrea's political environment. The country is governed by a highly authoritarian regime under President Isaias Afwerki, who has been in power since independence in 1993. The government maintains strict control over nearly every aspect of life, including freedom of speech, movement, and association. This authoritarian control extends to foreigners, with a particularly watchful eye on visitors from Western countries like Canada. Eritrea's complex visa process is another significant barrier. The country is notorious for its stringent entry requirements, making it difficult for Canadians to obtain a visa. Even if they do manage to enter, their movements are often restricted, with mandatory permits required for travel outside the capital, Asmara. This lack of freedom and the constant surveillance can make Canadians feel unwelcome and uncomfortable. Cultural differences also play a role. Eritrea is a deeply conservative society with traditional values that can clash with the more liberal outlooks often associated with Westerners. Canadians might find it challenging to navigate the social norms and expectations, leading to misunderstandings or friction. Number 8. Venezuela. Venezuela, once one of South America's wealthiest nations, is known for its stunning natural beauty, from the Andes Mountains to the Amazon rainforest and the Caribbean coastline. It's a country with a rich cultural heritage and warm, passionate people. However, in 2024, Venezuela has become one of the most challenging places for Canadians to visit. The primary issue is Venezuela's severe political and economic crisis. For over a decade, the country has been embroiled in a deep economic collapse, marked by hyperinflation, shortages of basic goods, and widespread poverty. This crisis has led to a breakdown in social services, a surge in crime, and a deteriorating quality of life. Canadians visiting Venezuela may find it difficult to access even basic necessities, and the lack of infrastructure makes travel within the country highly risky. Political tensions between Venezuela and Western countries, including Canada, have also intensified. Canada has been vocal in its criticism of the Venezuelan government under Nicolas Maduro, supporting opposition movements and imposing sanctions. In response, the Venezuelan government has often expressed strong anti-Western rhetoric, which can make Canadians feel particularly unwelcome. Safety is another major concern. Venezuela has one of the highest crime rates in the world, with violent crimes like robbery, kidnapping, and murder being alarmingly common. Foreigners, especially those from Western nations, are often targeted due to the perception that they are wealthy. For Canadians, this creates a highly unsafe environment where even simple activities can become dangerous. If you've made it this far, I truly appreciate your support. It only takes a few seconds to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me and helps me continue bringing you great content. Thank you. Number 7. Russia. Russia, a vast country spanning Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, is known for its rich history, cultural heritage, and iconic landmarks like the Kremlin and Red Square. With its unique blend of European and Asian influences, Russia has long been a place of intrigue and fascination. However, in 2024, it has become increasingly challenging for Canadians to feel welcome in Russia. The primary reason is the growing geopolitical tensions between Russia and Western countries, including Canada. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has severely strained relations, with Canada imposing sanctions on Russia and condemning its actions. In response, Russia has taken a hard stance against Western nations, including tightening its visa policies and increasing surveillance of foreigners. Canadians visiting Russia might find themselves subject to heightened scrutiny and suspicion, making travel uncomfortable and sometimes even risky. Another factor contributing to the unwelcoming atmosphere is the cultural and political differences between Russia and Western nations. Russia's government under Vladimir Putin has promoted a narrative of Russian exceptionalism and resistance to Western influence, which has resonated with many Russians. This nationalistic sentiment can lead to a distrust of Westerners, including Canadians, who may be seen as representatives of foreign powers that are hostile to Russia's interests. Safety concerns are also significant. The political climate in Russia has led to an increase in hostility toward foreigners, especially those from countries that are perceived as adversaries. Canadians might find themselves facing discrimination or even aggression in public spaces. Moreover, with limited consular support and strained diplomatic relations, Canadians traveling in Russia could find it difficult to get help in times of need. Cultural differences further complicate the situation. Russia's conservative social values can clash with the more liberal attitudes often associated with Western countries. Canadians might find it challenging to navigate the cultural landscape, leading to misunderstandings or uncomfortable situations. Given these factors, Russia in 2024 is a challenging destination for Canadians. The combination of political tensions, safety concerns, and cultural differences makes it one of the least welcoming places for Canadian travelers. Number 6. Iran. Iran, a country rich in history and cultural heritage, boasts stunning architecture, ancient ruins, and a vibrant art scene. However, for travelers in 2024, especially those from Western nations, Iran presents a complex and often challenging environment. The primary issue is the ongoing geopolitical tension between Iran and several Western countries. The U.S., in particular, has had a strained relationship with Iran for years, exacerbated by sanctions and political disputes. This tension has led to an atmosphere of suspicion towards Western visitors. For Americans, the visa process is notoriously difficult and involves extensive scrutiny. This geopolitical friction means that Westerners may face increased surveillance and restrictions while traveling in Iran. Another concern is the cultural and legal differences. Iran operates under a strict interpretation of Islamic law, which affects various aspects of daily life. Western norms and behaviors, such as dress codes and social interactions, are often subject to strict regulations. This can create uncomfortable situations for visitors who are unfamiliar with or inadvertently breach these cultural norms. Safety is also a significant issue. The political climate in Iran can be volatile, and there have been instances of Westerners being detained on charges related to political dissent or espionage. For American travelers, especially, there is a heightened risk of arrest or interrogation due to the tense diplomatic relations between the two countries. In summary, Iran in 2024 poses considerable challenges for American and Western visitors. Geopolitical tensions, cultural and legal differences, and safety concerns all contribute to making Iran a difficult country to navigate for those from Western nations. Number 5. North Korea. North Korea, one of the most secretive and isolated countries in the world, presents a unique and often daunting experience for travelers. Known for its strict control over information and extreme government censorship, North Korea's isolationism creates significant hurdles for foreigners, particularly Americans, visiting in 2024. The central issue is the highly restrictive nature of North Korean governance. The regime of Kim Jong-un maintains tight control over nearly every aspect of life, and foreign visitors are no exception. The country's strict regulations on behavior, communication, and movement make travel within North Korea highly controlled and monitored. American visitors, in particular, face rigorous checks and limitations, and any deviation from official protocols can lead to severe consequences. Safety is another pressing concern. North Korea's political climate is notoriously unpredictable, and the regime's stance towards the U.S. has remained tense. This tension manifests in a high level of surveillance and the potential for arbitrary detention. There have been numerous reports of foreigners being held under harsh conditions for minor infractions or perceived disrespect towards the regime. For Americans, the risk is exacerbated by the ongoing diplomatic standoff between North Korea and the U.S. Additionally, the lack of diplomatic relations and consular support means that Americans traveling in North Korea have little to no assistance available in emergencies. The isolated nature of the country also means that information and resources are scarce, making any travel-related issues particularly challenging to address. Number 4. Somalia. Somalia, located in the Horn of Africa, has long been a region of strategic importance due to its coastline along the Indian Ocean. In 2024, Somalia remains one of the most challenging destinations for travelers due to ongoing instability and security issues. The primary concern for visitors is the persistent conflict and insecurity. Despite efforts to stabilize the region, Somalia continues to grapple with armed conflicts involving various factions, including militant groups like Al-Shabaab. This volatile security environment makes travel risky, as incidents of violence and kidnappings are not uncommon. The U.S. Department of State advises against travel to Somalia due to these threats. Additionally, the lack of a robust central government has led to severe humanitarian crises, including shortages in basic services such as healthcare and clean water. The country's infrastructure is significantly underdeveloped, making movement and logistics particularly difficult for expatriates and travelers. This translates into a challenging experience with limited access to necessities and support services. Despite the hardships, Somalia's rich cultural heritage and historical sites, such as the ancient city of Zelia and the stunning coastline, offer glimpses of its once thriving past. However, the ongoing instability and lack of basic services overshadow these attractions, making Somalia a highly challenging destination for travelers in 2024. Number 3. Libya. Libya, situated in North Africa and known for its vast deserts and Mediterranean coastline, faces significant challenges for visitors due to its ongoing political instability and conflict. In 2024, Libya remains a high-risk destination for travelers. The primary issue is the fragmented political situation. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi's regime, Libya has been embroiled in civil conflict between rival factions, leading to an unstable and dangerous environment. This instability has resulted in sporadic violence, including clashes between armed groups and attacks on foreign interests. The U.S. Department of State continues to advise against travel to Libya due to these security concerns. The country's infrastructure is also severely impacted by years of conflict. Essential services such as healthcare, transportation, and utilities are often unreliable or unavailable, posing significant difficulties for visitors. The safety of foreigners can be unpredictable, with risks including potential kidnappings and theft. Despite its challenges, Libya has remarkable historical and natural attractions, such as the ancient ruins of Sabratha and the beautiful Libyan desert. However, these sites are overshadowed by the ongoing security concerns and infrastructural deficits, making Libya a difficult and risky destination for travelers in 2024. Number 2. Syria. Syria, once known for its rich historical and cultural heritage, is now one of the most perilous destinations due to the ongoing civil war and humanitarian crisis. In 2024, Syria continues to present severe challenges for visitors. The foremost concern is the ongoing conflict, which has devastated large parts of the country. The civil war, which began in 2011, has led to widespread destruction, displacement of civilians, and numerous human rights violations. The conflict zones are highly dangerous, with frequent airstrikes, battles, and terrorist activities posing significant risks to safety. Travel advisories from many countries, including the U.S., strongly recommend against visiting Syria due to these threats. Additionally, the war has severely impacted Syria's infrastructure and essential services. Hospitals, schools, and utilities are often damaged or non-functional, creating dire living conditions for both locals and visitors. The humanitarian crisis has led to shortages in food, medical supplies, and other necessities, further complicating travel and daily life. Despite Syria's once renowned historical sites, such as the ancient city of Palmyra and the old city of Damascus, these attractions are overshadowed by the current conflict and devastation. For travelers in 2024, Syria remains an extremely challenging and dangerous destination. Number 1. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, located at the crossroads of Central and South Asia, has been a focal point of geopolitical tension and conflict for decades. In 2024, Afghanistan remains one of the most challenging destinations for travelers due to its complex security situation and ongoing instability. The primary issue is the prevailing security concerns. Since the Taliban's return to power in 2021, Afghanistan has faced increased violence, political turmoil, and human rights abuses. The country is marked by frequent clashes between Taliban forces and resistance groups, as well as sporadic attacks by terrorist organizations. The U.S. Department of State advises against travel to Afghanistan due to these severe security risks. Furthermore, the country's infrastructure and essential services are in disrepair. The ongoing conflict has resulted in widespread damage to infrastructure, including roads, healthcare facilities, and utilities. This lack of functional infrastructure makes basic necessities and services difficult to access, presenting significant challenges for travelers. Despite Afghanistan's rich cultural history and landmarks such as the ancient Buddhist sites of Bamiyan and the historical city of Herat, the current security and infrastructural issues overshadow these attractions. For travelers in 2024, Afghanistan remains a highly hazardous and challenging destination. Thanks for tuning in to our exploration of some of the most challenging destinations around the globe. If you're considering a move or just curious about where life could be a bit easier and more enjoyable, don't miss our next video. We're diving into the top countries in Asia where you can find incredible living conditions, affordability, and a welcoming environment in 2024. From vibrant cities to tranquil retreats, we've got the insights you need to make an informed choice. Click on the video that's on your screen now to discover where your next adventure might take you. See you there.